That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Hi, I'm Sid Part 2, and we're doing comic reviews. Right out the gate, Martian Manhunter number 2. It's interesting still. I talked about not really knowing what's going on in the last book, and that's still intentional here. It's one of those things where it feels like it's going, beat for beat. Doesn't feel like you skipped any time. Cool cover, though that's not actually what happens in the book, oddly enough. So John wants to kill himself, which is interesting. He knows he's some kind of weapon, but he's not telling anybody, what exactly is going on, so he's trying to kill himself. And it looks like they're doing some retooling, or they're just getting rid of the origin and starting over with something else. Kind of like what they did with Wonder Woman, or everyone gets that eventually. There's this really neat fight between the Justice League and Manhunter. He's fighting Wonder Woman, he's fighting Cyborg and Flash all at the same time. And he's just like this, really monstrous looking thing, as he goes up against each of them. And then Superman shows up, and you realize that they haven't been fighting him at all. That John just put it in their minds that they were fighting this epic battle while he hadn't, so he would have enough time to go and get to this machine that he's using to kill himself with. And that's interesting. And I don't know exactly what they're doing yet, but that's intentional. And the further I'm reading, the more I'm getting invested and trying to figure out what's going on. But it does have that kind of DC thing of late, which is, hey, here's this character you really like, now we're going to change their origin. And what we're doing might be interesting, but that's still going to piss people off. And I can't blame people for being mad about that. So, I don't know. Overall, I'm still more interested in this Mr. Biscuits guy. I don't know what's going on with him. Initially he looked like a villain, but now I'm thinking they're setting him up as like a replacement for Martian Manhunter, since we just saw him kill himself. Sorry. It's a weird book. It's really interesting though. It's worth reading the first 2 issues. I'm really curious to see where this first story arc goes and where it concludes at. I'm really hoping they don't make it a huge run to start out with. I really hope that we get some kind of, not conclusion of what's going on, but a quick idea of what exactly is happening before 12 issues. Because I like the mystery and the build-up right now, but for a new book to start out that way, it can be kind of alienating. I think that might be a little bit of what went on with people's reaction to the Wonder Woman book, because there's a lot of similarities between these. Something Williams, hold on. Rob Williams is the writer on this, and I'm not sure exactly what he's doing, but it's still interesting, and I'm invested. I'm not a huge Martian Manhunter fan. I've always liked him, and so I don't really have a whole lot invested in his origin, so I don't mind them changing that. But I'm sure there are people out there who do, and who are offended, and fair enough. But as long as what they're doing is interesting, I'll read it. So yeah, it's an interesting enough book. If you just like Martian Manhunter in general, you don't know a lot about his backstory and stuff, it's probably worth picking up. If you're like me, that is. Grant Morrison's 18 Days. So I heard Steve talking about this, and it's Morrison using Hindu Indian mythology to tell this, epic, amazing story on this Lord of the Rings scale, and that's immediately interesting. That's all the things that you love about Grant Morrison, with a nice Indian flavor twist. Sorry. But no, it's a neat idea. I'm curious to see exactly where this goes. It starts out with this like telling of the origin of the world, of the universe, and how there are 4 ages, and they parallel the seasons, and how the characters we're seeing in this book are in the 3rd age, the very last years of the 3rd age, and that being fall, and winter is coming. Very common themes in mythology. So I don't know. It's an interesting setup. Very cool picture of Grant Morrison, looking all Grant Morrison-y. That's Grant Morrison. That's not Grant Morrison looking Grant Morrison-y. But if Grant Morrison were on a horse, that's exactly how he'd look. He would just suddenly grow hair. No, but like I said, it's Morrison doing his thing, and there's not a ton to say about it yet. We're setting up the world, letting everyone know exactly what's going on, and then we're setting up the characters, and the issue ends as these 2 armies are about to go to war. They apparently used to be friends at one point. There's a lot in this, and it's just, with Morrison, I feel like you almost have to go back and read the previous issue every time you get a new issue of something. Because, the opening of this is immediately fascinating. I consider myself a bit of a mythology nerd, and there's stuff I'm interested in because it parallels Greek myth, which is fun, to see how these cultures that we think of as separate tend to have a lot of really striking similarities. So I'm curious to see exactly where he goes with this and everything, but I don't know a lot about Indian myth, so I'm really interested. It is just like an original story to me, in a lot of ways. You get the creation of the universe and all this stuff. There's Grant Morrison. Look at all Grant Morrison. You can just take any awesome page or drawing from a book that Grant Morrison wrote and just say that is Grant Morrison. But no, I feel like when issue 2 comes out, I'm gonna have to go back and reread this, and then read issue 2, and so on and so forth for however many issues he does this in. With a title like 18 Days, it would be really cool if each book, if it's an 18-issue series. Though, tell the story in as many issues as you want, as it takes, rather. But yeah, it's enjoyable. It's really, one thing I love about it is there are no ads. Oh wait, no, I take that back. I immediately take that back. I say that, and then I open the page, and then there's an ad. The ads are very loosely put in to the story. I think there might only be one as you read the story, and then there's an ad there's not even an ad in the back. You get a cool Q&A with Grant Morrison. I didn't read all of it. I just wanted to figure out exactly what he was going for. Yeah, I think there's one ad in this whole book. And I can't believe it. I think it's only $1. Give me 1 sec. I want to check that, because it says $1 on the back there. Let me go grab my receipt. Yeah! Yep. Grant Morrison, 18 Days, $1. See if I can get that to read. Let's see here. There we go. Grant Morrison's 18, $1. So there's honestly no reason not to pick it up. The book costs $1. When was the last time you got, a giant comic book that wasn't filled with ads for $1? That's immediately, whether or not you like Grant Morrison, or whether or not you have any interest in Indian mythology or whatever, just pick it up. It's a comic book for $1 again. It's been like 10 to 15 years since that's been a thing that happens. Yeah. Just that alone makes me want to go buy 10 copies. Or 18. Yeah, there we go. I'm Billy D. Williams. Williams. I played the black guy in Star Wars. You may also remember me as the black guy in Batman, 1989. Alright. That's my best Billy D. Williams. This is cool, though. This is a fun book. This came out last week, but I needed to get something else. I almost didn't have video this week, but I saw Martian Manhunter and decided to grab it as well as 18 Days. But yeah, I picked this up because otherwise I wouldn't have had any books. I needed to get 3 books, or I needed only 2 books, but 18 Days cost $1. So I needed to get 3 books then. So I picked up Lando. And it's cool. This is just, I am in such a thieving, heisty mood right now, and that's exactly what this is, and that's so fun. So like it starts out in Lando's like with this basically governor of the Empire who just, carries out the will of Sidious. And so she's essentially a weapon. Like he talks about her like that, and then he talks about how he's in love with her and how he came here to steal something from her and blah blah blah, and in doing so he's able to convince her to just give him the thing he was going to steal. And you find out that that's just his ploy to get it so that he doesn't have to worry about her coming after him. Really cool story. And then that's just the first couple pages that all that happens in. Let's see here. Not counting the catch-up page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pages to get that. That's awesome. Just great storytelling here. I really like this. And so it's building up to a bigger heist, and at the end of the heist you find out that they stole the Emperor's car! Well, his shuttle, and I'm sure there's something more to it than that, but it's just like immediately kind of on that wacky, silly, fun level, but still really, high stakes drama kind of thing, considering the kind of guy the Emperor is. Oh, here we go. I can strike the Lando pose on the cover. There we go. There we go. But yeah, I think this is a really neat idea for a book. To give Lando his own. I believe it's a full series that's expected to keep going, which is awesome. I'm good with that. Some cool Star Wars advertisements in here. If you want to see me do this Lego build, stay tuned to the channel tomorrow. I've got that coming up. Got to shoot the review for it right now, but that's just me thinking out loud. No, I love the idea behind this, showing Lando as this, that kind of lovable rogue character. Not like Han Solo, who, you wanted him to do the right thing. Lando's you want him to get away with doing the wrong thing, but in the right way. And that's just really fun to see, where it's just, we want to see Lando steal things, and damn the consequences. That's the fun part. And, he has some great dialogue in here. Where is it? I fight my own way with wait, hold on. You want to fight, brother? Please. You had the Imperials put those things in your head so you could get paid to run battlefield calculations all nice and safe back at base. Doesn't sound like something a fighter would do to me. I fight my own way with this. Blasters are for suckers, people with no imagination. Think it through. It's just, I'm sorry for getting all blaxploitation-y there, but it's so cool. It's just what I needed. I need some cool funky beats. If anyone turns this into a motion comic, put some funk down, some funk guitar on that, you got the perfect things. Use 70s blaxploitation music and stuff. You are set. This is awesome. This is just fun. I just have a smile on my face. I'm just loving it. It's great stuff. But yeah, just great book. I recommend picking that up. It's a fun book. It's a bouncy, lighthearted, fun romp kind of book so far, but with high stakes still. Just that last job kind of story for the lovable rogue, the thief with honor or whatever. Great stuff. You just love Lando's a con man. That's perfect. And somehow one point or another, I hope we get to see him con his way into getting a city. No trade talk this week, unfortunately. I didn't have time to read through any trades. Went to a wedding this weekend. My God. Weddings are exhausting, people. I can't wait till I'm old when I just can leave a wedding at like 8 o'clock and be like, oh, I'm tired. My God, weddings are just too much for me. Anyway, so this is still up on the list. This is coming up. And I picked up Sensational Comics featuring Wonder Woman in the trade. I originally had not no interest. I didn't really see a need to pick the book up when I saw it coming out on the stands. But then I was just going through the trades at my comic shop and I saw that it was written by Simone. I was like, whoa, shit, wait, what? So now I'm going to be adding that to my pull list likely. I'll probably catch up on the back issues. If I can get them all, that'll probably be next week. So next week or the week after, it'll depend on when I get time to read this, because I want to read this first, obviously, since it's the first in the series. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love what Azzarello and what Finch have done with Wonder Woman, but Simone has a great voice for the character as well, so I'm curious to see exactly what the premise of this is and what she's going to do with it. It looks like it's maybe like an anthology book. I don't know yet. I'm excited. I love Wonder Woman, so that'll be cool, but this is still first on my list just because I've had it longer. Speaking of things that I've had longer, so Green Lantern and the Life Equation is very strangely collected, or let me rephrase that. Green Lantern Godhead is very strangely collected. They've been having a lot of issues with collecting Green Lantern stuff. And that irks me. One sec. These are the trades, the hardcovers for Blackest Night, and I mean, I have my issues with Blackest Night, but it's still a cool story, and you want to be able to read it. So you buy the Blackest Night hardcover, and you get to the end, and it's... Oh, wait, never mind. This the true end of the book. Yeah, my bad. You buy the Blackest Night hardcover, and it starts out somewhere. Let's figure out. Yeah, it starts out with the story, I guess, but it's in a weird spot. But then you try to fill in the gaps with the Green Lantern book, and it's all over the place. It doesn't really work to collect it in 2 volumes like that. It should be collected sequentially in 2 separate books, like Volume 1, Blackest Night Volume 1, Blackest Night Volume 2. Like, this was just the Blackest Night book, and this is just the Green Lantern Blackest Night books. Then there's the Green Lantern Corps Blackest Night books. So, it's just very problematic to collect things in that way. And so Godhead, it seems to be collected in almost an identical way, where Green Lantern Godhead starts out, I guess, in the middle of the fucking story, and the Godhead trade on its own isn't coming out until September. So, fuck knows what's going on with that. Disappointed in that, so I'm not going to be getting to Green Lantern the Life Equation as quickly as I'd hoped, which is disappointing, because I've been craving some Green Lantern lately, and I don't know what's going on in the current book right now, because I quit reading that at a certain point, just because I needed something off my list, and Johns was starting to let me down toward the end of his run. But anyway, I'll be back with comic reviews next week. See you then.